everybody. Christine here, your host of the Co-Living Coach Show, also co-founder of Kindred, which is software for the co-living industry. This week, we bring on Sagiv and Ifat with LivingQ. So Sagiv is the president and founder of Rosano Partners and LivingQ. And in 2006, he founded his brokerage under a new set of principles: partnership, specialization, and full service. And his goal was simple: create the best full-service real estate firm in California, providing a unique array of value-add services. Through hard work, resilience, and recruiting a robust team of talented agents, Sagiv set out to redefine the industry. He remains dedicated to developing lasting business relationships with commercial property owners and retail tenants by providing full brokerage services, accurate market analysis, and real-time market information. And prior to forming Rosano Partners, Sagiv was a top producer at one of the largest commercial real estate firms. And even before that, he was an investment banker with Lehman Brothers in the M&A and corporate finance group in San Francisco and had a career in the Israeli military. While in the military, he led, consulted, and managed governmental organization on security issues and covert operations. In addition, he developed strategies on location, movement, and configuration of troops and heavy military equipment. This episode will explore LivingQ's reinvention of co-living in Southern California. After launching their first community in San Diego, they're expanding to a new lifestyle of living local and connecting global to Los Angeles with the launch of several new sites this year. And residents at LivingQ will have access to a curated programming to connect at home through Q Club events and a Q Talk speaker series, as well as Airbnb rooms available at a discount at every building so that the residents may freely travel and easily accommodate their guests. Through local and global partnerships, LivingQ is creating a community that can enjoy their local neighborhoods to the fullest and also have the option to explore the world and experience other cultures. So welcome to the show, Sagiv and Ifat. Okay, everybody, this week on the Co-Living Coach Show, I have Sagiv, Rosano, and Ifat. They're both with LivingQ, and he's also the president and founder of Rosano Partners. And they've launched co-living in Los Angeles and in San Diego, where I'm at right now. Very excited because San Diego's kind of gotten left behind on the co-living growth. So welcome to the show, both of you. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm good. Good to speak to you guys again. So let's start at the very beginning. Spend some time, talking about, how you guys came up with LivingQ and your background.
Okay, so I'm a real estate investor, and I've been buying apartment buildings and shopping centers for a while. And we love to experiment with space, and we love to experiment with different concepts. So I was intrigued by the co-living concept. About 2 years ago, one of my partners, an investor, a guy named Tamir Bazaz, he's the CEO of the Point Hostels. He has 4 hostels in Peru, came to LA. He was talking to me a little bit about what's happening in his space and how, people are staying for a year in his hostels and they become like, he told me about the concept of digital nomads. And heck, it was the first time I heard about it. And I'm like, wow, this is really interesting. And he was talking to me about these hostels becoming some kind of a knowledge base of travelers, and they would stay there for like a whole year and interact. And I had my own experience when I was a security guard. I lived in Budapest in a co-living of 7 guys. And the experience was very similar. We were living very local and connecting with local population. We were all foreigners and we were all doing security. And the concept really resonated with me. And I wanted to do something that is the combo between my experience in Budapest and the hostel experience that Tamir provides to his people in Peru. And that's where LivingQ kind of came about. Our mission is live local, connect global. So it's really about how to get people that maybe are not local, maybe they just moved in, maybe they live in this town for only 2 years, they don't know that area, connect with their local community, shop local, and also it's really important. We're all very global people. Ifat and I both were born in Israel. We lived in the United States for a really long time, but and we're very much big world travelers, so it was very important for us to have that concept and bring it to LA and San Diego. And that's kind of where we started.
Nice. So 2 years ago, you guys came up with the concept 2 years ago. When did you guys launch the properties in LA and San Diego?
So our first property was launched in September 2018.
Okay.
And in downtown San Diego, in Sherman Heights, 28 rooms.
Nice. And then how many rooms in Los Angeles do you guys have total now?
We have 4 facilities. They're all coming online, and we'll have about 120 rooms all in by the end of the quarter.
I love it. I love it. And you know, I know I read it on the bio, but you're a UCLA grad, you have a background in investment banking. So again, and we've had other guests with the exact same investment banking background, heavy real estate background. So it's really cool to kind of bring your knowledge onto the show and just kind of seeing it from different perspectives. What is your favorite part about running the LivingQ, your co-living concept?
You know, it's kind of funny that you're mentioning that. Yeah, my background is financial. So I always dealt with people that just have a dollar sign in front of every other word, right? And since the 2 years I've been doing co-living, I've been dealing with people that are very different, very creative. And it's so refreshing and amazing because all of a sudden I'm like dealing with people like Ifat and Angela and our team that is just in a lot of design. It's really cool and refreshing.
I love that. No, Sagiv, I always love how you interact with your team. Like you can tell you guys are like a family. I love it. It's fun to watch. So what would be the average length of stay at LivingQ, and like what's the average age?
So we are our concept is we really want to build a community, right? So we sign 1-year leases, in some cases 6 months. So we want longer stay. We want to be able to help create a community and not have to. We don't want to be too transient. We don't ask people their age. We don't care. It's very young, professional, fun, cool people. But I don't know that I can point an age, and I don't want to.
Cool. No, I like that. No, it's like the collective. He always says it's a state of mind. It's not even an age at all. Just state of mind. Age is just a number. So that's great. And then what would you say, do you guys have like co-working space in the buildings?
So the design is really important for us. So we're real estate people, right? So when each building that we either manage or we buy and redesign, we add co-working spaces to all of them. But we try to take, like in San Diego, we have a Victorian building. So we build on that Victorian building. We find a place in the garage to put that co-working space and create like a co-working environment, or the attic, which we have a huge attic in that building. Like it's amazing, it's gigantic. And we put a lot of beanbag chairs and people can sit down and relax and work. But in LA, we have like a couple of old school bricker, Spanish buildings. So the design is really important for us, and all our facilities have amenities like co-working. We try to add a gym, jacuzzi, and fun things. So just more than just a room. I think it's important, and we also need to have a lot of communal spaces because that's where the interaction, the events are going. And if I will talk about it in a second.
Yes. No. And I had one quick question. Which neighborhoods in Los Angeles are you guys in?
So we're in Boyle Heights, Hancock Park, East Hollywood, and we're going to be in Los Feliz.
Nice. No, Los Angeles has just had this renaissance of co-living, like it almost like popped up overnight, I swear, which is great. Like a lot of brands finally made it to Los Angeles.
It's just such a great fit. LA has exactly the right recipe, right? You got a lot of creative, a lot of people that want to have community, want to create. At the same time, you have shortage of housing, so people are going to need to share amenities and consume together.
I love it. So Ifat has been patiently sitting there, quiet. I'm going to ask you a question next. I would love, and I know this is your realm, is like what type of community building events are you guys hosting there?
So we kind of divide in our events into two aspects. We have the weekly fun party event that we call the Q Club. So it's small events like karaoke night, game nights, potluck dinners, anything that basically it's fun, drinking, smoking, doing whatever help you relax and obviously create amazing memories and friendship. And then we have the other aspect that is the Q Talk. That's where we host different workshop, lecture, webinar, when we have special speakers that are going to come and help our tenants grow in their own personal life, in the professional life. So that's kind of the webinar, and the Q Talk is more demand. And yeah, so all of that is just fun and great. And we have WhatsApp groups that everybody can connect with each other, and Facebook group, and creating network between all our LivingQ members. If it's San Diego, if it's LA, we want everybody to know each other, support each other, and just be there for each other.
I love that. And so you guys said you actually do online webinars for some of your events.
Yes.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I want to add to that, the idea is that part of the event is to really create those memories and the networking opportunities for the community members. Like our facility in Hancock Park is dedicated to the entertainment industry, and we want those young wannabe, the next Tarantino, to find the next producer that they can collaborate. So a lot of our communities, when we're trying to curate, like the one in Boyle Heights, is much more for the community where it's directed for artists, because we're like 5 minutes bicycle ride from the art district. So we're thinking that we're curating the community, like that, putting a flavor on top of it a little bit. Some is pepper, some salt, but it's that's part of it. The events is the connection and the networking. It's really important. It's part of the brand and identity that we have for us.
Oh, that's awesome. And again, I think that's going to be the most successful communities are the ones that are putting that much work and effort into building those events and like facilitating that, those relationships, right? Because then they'll stay. If their best friends live in the building, like, why would they ever move?
And it's so much more powerful, I think, than just the co-working, because you go to work, you spend a few hours, then you go back to your house. And I think that is the place where we can create real meaningful partnership. I can tell you that the majority of our investors, the majority of people I do business with, are friends of mine, whether they were friends from college or from the military or from whatever experience that I had in my life. And I'm looking at that and I'm like, okay, we're going to create those meaningful relationships, those meaningful experiences for the people that live in our communities in-house, just right at their doorstep. So that's exciting for us.
That is really cool. I love that. And then, okay, so how about, and again, you guys are rapidly expanding and it's fun to watch. Like, what kind of technology, software, any IoT items you guys are using right now? Any type of technology?
So yeah, we're using currently off-the-shelf property management software to kind of run the back end. It's not ideal. So, we deal with that. What can you do? Currently, there's really not a solution out there. But we're using a lot of freebies, like WhatsApp groups, like Ifat said, is very effective in connecting people. The Google Calendar, where every one of our members can come in, download the community calendar into your phone and just be immediately in the know of every event. It will be on their phone, which is so very simple solutions that help us really connect everybody.
I love that. And then what is the future for you guys? Like, I would love to hear kind of your growth plan and strategy. Would you guys go out of the state of California? Like, what locations are coming up?
Yeah, so we're going out of state, and we also go to other cities. Our growth strategy is kind of twofold. One, we're gonna buy more buildings and convert them. So we really love conversion. We feel that this is really the right thing to do, especially for LA. We want to partner with we partner with one developer. We want to partner with more developers on helping them with the design, implementation, and operation. So we know how to design those facilities, doing them really cool, smart, where it's inviting, and so that's one of our growth trajectory. We want to grow globally by partnering with other co-living around the world. and connect the communities. I think it's really interesting. And we are outreaching to a lot of them and connecting between communities.
And would you guys say you want to come in? So do you own all your current buildings? The ones you guys are currently?
We own not all, but 80% of the product we own.
Nice. Okay, cool. And then you guys are even open to being the operator, like coming in and operating somebody else's building.
So that's what the growth is going to be ultimately. We can't just buy, the amount of building that we can, like it buys limited. We can buy 1 or 2 buildings a year. We are partnering with local developers that we finance. We actually provide equity to them because we have sources to raise equity, and we can help a developer with their equity base as well as their debt because of our expertise, and help him kind of run the project through the finance. That's the kind of the benefit of having people like us who's financiers in our background. We can pretty much take almost any project off the ground because, as you know, it's a lot about having the money to do it.
Yeah, no, you said a great point. And just before this interview started, I was thinking that, I was looking back at previous interviews. We're finally starting, just so everybody knows, we're going to start bringing on guests from over like a year ago back on to hear their growth. And so I was listening to some of those interviews, and it's really cool because you have the people that are just die hard, the community is just in their blood, how to build connection, community, but yet they're lacking, maybe the finance background. And then we have the investment bankers on that have very heavy finance, real estate background. So again, I love it. I think, everybody coming into this space has those different, skill sets, and it's really cool to see, kind of how it all, works around the world, right?
Right. I'll tell you like that. Because we all bring different strengths. Like obviously Ifat is a nonprofit. She's a community organizer for like a long time. We brought people on the design side. We brought people from co-working, other co-living companies. So we're really trying to bring like a very unique experience, as well as, the financial guys, that it's me and my partner Joe and Don, and all together, we really like as a team, I think we're good. We give a good, LivingQ has like a very good platform to grow and succeed.
No, you guys have like a dream team. Look at that. Wow. You got every corner covered. Even the co-working. Yeah. Bring people in from co-working, because you're exactly right. There's so many parallels, right?
Yeah. A lot of parallels.
I love that, you guys. Okay. So my last question for both of you. So I'll start with Ifat, is where do you see co-living if we go 10 years out, the year 2030, which will be here before we know it, where do you see co-living on a global level?
Well, I think with the way society goes today, that we're spending so much time on social media and phones, and we are so disconnecting from each other. And I think in the next few years, people will go back. I think it's happening right now. People are looking to connect more with each other. And well, I think co-living is going to be kind of one of the regular things that people living in. It's either you rent an apartment or you living in a co-living. And I think it's going to be very big in 10 years. Everybody will know and want to be part of a co-living.
Okay. And how about you?
I'll add to that. I think that co-living is really becoming a mainstream, where it really is like just another line of apartment buildings, or you're going to be like hospitality, co-living, apartments. I think that what we're doing like a kind of a full circle, right? That's how people used to live, right? If you go to an old Sicilian town, people lived in a very small shared community or a small kibbutz in Israel, right? People live that way. They have a communal kitchen, right? And I think that people are yearning for it. So we're going to see a lot more than that. It's good for us because it's obviously going to make it easier to finance things, easier to entitle things. I think municipalities, especially LA, is not really getting it. So there is a lot of explanation to do right now, which I think it's going to disappear. It's going to be part of everybody's life.
Yeah, no, this is a good question for you because you're the first I've talked to that's now done LA and San Diego. I heard San Diego kind of loosened up some of their rules and regulations around co-living. Do you think one city is more friendly than the other when it comes to these co-living projects?
I'm not sure. I know that LA is stricter than San Diego. I think San Diego in general tend to be a little bit more easier from a regulatory perspective. I think the planners over there are more open-minded. I think LA, the big driver is really the crisis, right? It's kind of a crisis mode in City Hall where everybody's talking about, oh, we have shortage of units, we have shortage of occupancy rates are 97, 98% of apartment buildings. That's a problem, right? So in general, I think San Diego is probably an easier place to entitle a co-living than in LA. But I think that because of occupancy rate, LA is probably a better place to do it.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. No, indeed. I mean, I just found this out recently across the United, and I know we have listeners from around the world, so maybe they don't care as much, but the United States right now is at a 96% occupancy rate average across the board for rental property, which is like insane. That's really, really high, right? So very low vacancy. Everybody's trying to get really creative. Yeah.
That's the big driver right now, I think, for the co-living. And I think that can be the golden era of the co-living. And by the time maybe occupancy rate opens up, co-living is such a mainstream that people right now, maybe that it was a financial choice as well as, oh God, where am I going to live? I don't want to buy a whole living room. I don't have the money for it, right? Where in 3 or 4 years, when we have more units and maybe occupancy rates open up a little bit, people are just going to make it more of a choice. But by then, it's going to be such a mainstream that, co-living is definitely here to stay. That's definitely our perspective on it.
Without a doubt, because even a decrease in occupancy rates in the big cities, right, means kind of things are slowing down. But then those people that were living alone, they're going to have the choice to either have to move out of that city or co-live, right? So I think you're right. I think it'll actually help the cause.
Right.
I like that, the golden era of co-living.
Right. We also think of a co-living as kind of a recession-proof living arrangement, right? Think about it. When people start losing their jobs, they're going to think about, well, where can I go? I need affordability. And they might move out of their, $3,000 a month, one bedroom into, a $1,300 a month room. Maybe they can't tolerate going into a pod share. It might be a little bit too much. But they can still, kind of be in a facility like ours that, promote long-term stay. I have my own room, I have my own bathroom most of the time. I can live here for like 5 years if I wanted to, and I'm paying a lot less. So it's also when the recession comes, and I think the occupancy rate going to go down as recession going to go, and people will be like, oh, am I going to move to LA right now? Probably not. I might still stay with my parents and live with mom and dad. So that can affect occupancy rate as well.
Yeah, and I think that too, because again, we're in a time where like more and more adults are living at home still or staying at home. But then I think they're seeing this co-living option, like, wait a minute, like it's not that expensive and I can live with other people and, share. So yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting to see how things shift.
But for us, for LivingQ, although we are affordable, we are not an affordable type product. It's not really our goal. We are more, as I said, more a community, more event driven, more networking driven, more globally networking driven for people that want to connect globally because of our ability to connect you to other people that live in co-living around the world that maybe have the same interests, either doing the same venture that you're doing, right? So I think that we are definitely more on that side of the business than on the side of, hey, we're come here, stay for $700 or $800 a month. I think that's not where our brand is. Although I think we are very affordable brand in the space.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, for what you guys, all these amenities you guys are providing and packaging up is way more affordable. You know, one payment to get all of that. But yeah, you're not. Yeah, I think there's other niches like the pod share, and that's pod living, which I put on LinkedIn recently because now that's becoming really popular in California, which is great to see because that's perfect for like 18 to 24-year-olds, you know, that want to live in the heart of the city and they don't mind, you know, living in pod share, or pod living in general. So yeah, no, it's kind of all these different markets, and it's neat to see the different niches within the co-living umbrella. Are you guys going to do any different? Will you just stay kind of in that lane, or would you do any high end or low end down the road? Or are you guys going to keep your brand consistent throughout?
No, our brand is going to be fairly consistent. We're doing a lot of conversion. We haven't done ground up yet. It's probably kind of slated for next year. So when you do a conversion, as I said, we're looking for the right assets in the right locations. So we want to be main on main in great locations. By buying a building, it gives us the opportunity to do that. Again, it's more about dealing with the regulation of how to convert this building, how to create those communal spaces. It's very important for us because we need to have an event space. Otherwise, we can't have events. Like the event space needs to fit 20 to 30 people. If we have a band that plays, it's also need to be somewhat isolated. It cannot be on in somebody's backyard. So we put a lot of thought into the design and into the building that we buy, or we partner with. So sometimes we went to an owner in downtown LA and we identified them as your building will make an awesome co-living facility. We're still negotiation.
Okay. Nice. I love it. Well, thank you so much, you guys. I always love bringing on, like, when there's two people coming onto this show to talk about it. So you guys did amazing. Thank you so much. Excited to see LivingQ and your guys' future growth. And thanks for coming on this week.
Thank you so much.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for checking out today's episode. If you want to learn more about co-living, you could check out my book on Amazon, The Co-Living Code. And of course, if you're looking for the perfect software to power your co-living concept, check out kindred.io, KNDRD.io. Thanks. And a quick thank you to SPX Agency for all of the graphics, animation, and design on our YouTube channel.